This is the Journey 2050 self-guided experience. We're on lesson number 4 about economies, and also we'll be playing level 4 of the farming sustainability game. In lesson 1, you were introduced to the concept of a ripple effect. We're going to go back to that a little bit to see how it is, how we see that in the economy. So, a question for you: how does agriculture affect the world? How does it create ripples throughout the world? In short, agriculture impacts everything in our world. When we're talking specifically about economy and markets, when agricultural markets are strong, there's a high demand for products. The cost of those things will rise. If it's flooded, the prices will drop. In addition to direct food markets, there's also other industries that rely heavily on agriculture, and their markets will also fluctuate with the agricultural market. So let's flip this question around, and rather than asking how agriculture impacts the world, let's discuss how does the world impact agriculture? Well, the answer is the same. Everything in the world can impact agriculture. So if we're talking about fuel prices impact the amount of input that farmers have to put in creating a crop and how much money they will make in the end. Weather can be a factor in agriculture. An unusually wet summer might be really great grazing for livestock and a really positive impact. The opposite of a drought is going to have a negative impact. There's also political impact in the world that affects agriculture and lots of other things. So it's when we're looking at the economy, when we're looking at sustainability, we can't focus on just one single factor. We have to look at the big picture. That introduction wraps up step 1 on your handout. What you need to do now is move on to step 2. You're going to pause this video and then watch the Journey 2050 Economies video and answer the questions. This is moving on to step 3 on your handout. The question is, what is the foundation for an economy? To put it very simply, the foundation for an economy is created in the ability that people have to earn money and to create jobs. In order for people to earn money and therefore create jobs, there has to be a market. So, what is a market? A market is a place where products or services are bought and sold. So, this could be at a farmer's market, it could be at a store, it could be online. Anywhere that products and services are exchanged for money is a market. This probably isn't your first introduction to the law of supply and demand, but just in case it is, the law of supply and demand is the theory that prices are determined by the relationship between supply and demand. If the supply of a good or service outstrips the demand for it, prices will fall. If a demand exceeds supply, prices will rise. So let's look at a couple of what-if scenarios. So this first one, what if milk was no longer served in school cafeterias? School cafeterias are a large place that consumes a lot of milk. So what happens if we no longer did that? The supply of milk would rise, so we would have extra milk. The demand for milk would drop. With a high supply and a low demand, the market price of milk would then drop. Here's a scenario that we actually saw in 2023 with the bird flu. So what if a disease spread through most of the chicken farms, killing many hens that lay eggs? The supply of eggs would go down. The demand for eggs would go up, and the price of eggs would go up. You're probably understanding this, but let's just do one more example. Here's a good example of how external influences outside of agriculture impact agriculture. So this one's the weather. What if a late frost killed more than half of the peach blossoms, decreasing the peach harvest by 50%? The supply of peaches is going to go down. The demand for peaches is going to go up. and the market price of peaches will also go up. This wraps up step 3 on your handout. We're going to go on to step 4, which is to play level 4 of the farming sustainability game. Before you start playing the game, I just want to give you something to really consider as you play this level of the game and think of the economy. Ask yourself, how does a sustainable farm impact the farm family, their community, and their country? So we're really wanting to look at, if a single farm is successful, that they're able to grow crops, to sell them, to be financially successful and stable, does it only impact them or does it impact others beyond their own household? For example, their community and their country. Keep this question in mind as you play this level of the game. Go ahead and pause this video and go play level 4 of the sustainability farming game. You should have just finished level 4 of the sustainability farming game. Move on to step 5 of your handout. If you haven't already, go ahead and answer these questions on your handout. Here's one last infographic that is just reinforcing the concepts of the ripple effect. So here's how it works. A good crop means that a family is fed. It means that there's money for improvements. And it means that local businesses are going to sell those goods and services to that farm family who grew a good crop, earned money, and were able to support their local economy. Other good ripple effects include increased profits, higher incomes. That comes back to the community through better infrastructure. As that grows, access to markets grows, there's global marketing, and overall a better and a more sustainable world. The last thing you're going to do is review these key points. That brings us to the end of lesson 4 on economies. Next up is going to be lesson 5 on land use.